I noticed something that he did not notice. His voice changed. He realizes that it's going to become a man. That's why he said to me, Dida, I think I'm growing up.
It's a Hard Knock Live. I was going to say co-host, but actually I'm your host, Siu Lim. And today we are talking about something that is quite a taboo topic for a lot of us. When we have kids, one thing that we have that dreaded conversation, sex. Sex is a very sensitive topic for some of us, but for others, it's actually a very open conversation. For me, it was quite tough, but today it's not about me. It's actually about Fazley today. How are you? My guest, my special guest today. If you didn't know yet, Fazley has 4 kids, just like me.
Yes. 3 boys and 1 little princess.
Princess. Our girl, princess.
Yeah.
So how old are they?
The 4 kids. The eldest one, Faris, is going to be 17 this year. Second one, Firas, he's going to be 15. And the third boy is going to be 14. And the youngest one, Princess Ellie, she's going to be 8 years old.
Oh, wow. So your kids are pretty grown up now.
Yeah, but they're still my little babies. They sleep with me every day. So, they're all macho and teenagers outside. Once I get home,
Your babies.
I want to hug, I want to kiss, things like that. Yeah.
So you guys are pretty close.
Super close.
Super
I can't
close.
live without them, and I hope the same thing with them.
Yeah.
See, when I travel for my cooking shows or my shoots or for my singing shows or motivation thing whatsoever, sometimes it requires me to go more than a night. But if it's more than a night, then I see the kids WhatsApping me, video calling me all the time. When are you coming back? When are you coming back?
Right. And how is it like raising 3 teenage boys? If you can say it in like a few words, how's it like?
Difficultly interesting.
Difficultly interesting.
Is that the right word to use? I guess so.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why would that be?
It's difficult because you've got to train them to be grown-ups, but you don't want them to grow up. It's interesting because all 4 kids, especially the 3 boys, have different personalities. One boy can say yes, but the second boy say yes in a different tone, and the third boy say yes in another tone. But it completely means the same thing. You got to read between the lines. So especially I asked the kids, guys, do you want to have Japanese? Yes. 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 And the other one, yes. So what does that mean?
I assume that's your
Yeah.
princess, right?
Yes. So that usually means that she might want to eat something else.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And who do you follow? The princess?
always the princess.
Okay.
So that the household remains harmony.
Yeah. So and so I mean, what were you like as a teenage boy? Tell me a little bit about yourself as a teenage boy.
I grew up in 3 different countries. So I had 3 different lives, I guess. I was in Indonesia, where I learned the bahasa Indonesia, so I didn't speak a single English word.
Okay.
So aku ngomong bahasa Indonesia kayak gini, ABCD gitu. Nyanyi bahasa Indonesia. Ngerti nggak? Contohnya
So,
lagunya
I
kayak
don't
gini.
speak
Pengemepe
Malay.
angsa, masuk ke kuali. So that's how I speak, right? And from there on, my father pursued his master's and PhD. We went to the US, Los Angeles. So I started to speak a little bit of English and bahasa Indonesia.
At what age?
11, 12, 13, I think. And then I came back to Malaysia. I can't speak a single Malay word, but I've got a lot of Indonesian verbs. So it was difficult for me in school, being a Mat Saleh speaking boy who speaks Bahasa Indonesia, who don't speak Malay, right? And as I grow up, I went to Australia, New Zealand. So different lifestyles, different social lives, but my parents were very strict with me, especially about sex. At the young age of 9, before going to the hospital for circumcision with my dad, he said, right after this, the next week, I'm going to speak to you about sex. So imagine
So
what
he
was
made
going
an
through my mind.
announcement.
Yeah, so I was like, really? I got
Excited?
excited, I guess,
Okay.
as a young boy. So the first week after going to the hospital, my father started to talk about the taboo things, which made my mind went crazy. Because growing up in the Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia, and then growing up in Los Angeles, and then traveling the world with my dad, yet having to stay inside as a true Malay Muslim boy, it was a little difficult because I need to understand that between religion between what the social beliefs are, between what the parents want you to grow up as. You see, it's not so easy. Yeah. So I did not want my kids to go through the same thing.
So what have you, I mean, did you already decide when you had the kids how you were
Yes,
gonna?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Especially for my eldest one, Faris.
And how was that? Like,
See, Faris, he's a very shy boy, but he plays music, so I will know his mood depending on how he plays the drums, or which guitar he chooses to pluck, or what he decides to cook in the kitchen. I will know what happened in the day, depends on what he does at home. All right. So I told him one day, I said, Faris, you know, growing up, you're gonna have a wet dream. Wet dream? What's a wet dream? I said, Google it.
Google it.
What is that first? Because I want him to be intrigued, and I want him to know what it's all about first before I start my pep talk. So he said,
did he Google it right then and there?
yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, be in front of me. So he did, and then
What was his reaction?
he was like, well, to be honest, I was a little shy.
Okay.
And
I think we all are.
yeah. So
We can't show it.
I wanted to talk to him, but I decided not to, Decided not to. You know what my wife did? She had this wonderful idea. Azrin said, Abang, there's a book about bees and something. I can't remember. This is a very popular book that parents use to teach kids about sex education. And questions were a lot lesser from Faris because he read that book.
Okay.
So that was an eye-opener for me as a parent. And I think it helped Faris to understand a bit more before I start talking about the more serious stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, well done to Azrin. Thank you.
But what was the serious stuff?
Okay. The serious stuff was...
I don't know. I'm actually not familiar with the book. So what does the book say?
No,
And
the book was very, very subtle.
Okay.
See, it's talking about bees and something I can't remember, but the way it was portrayed in the book, kids were able to understand. They were able to comprehend and understand that certain things, certain topic, although it was a taboo in a lot of, I guess, Malay Muslim household, it was explained very, very well. And it allowed us as parents to be able to use certain vocabs differently, right? And then a few weeks after, he started to notice that he had hairs on his legs, tremendous amount of hair. I'm half Indian, by the way, but I don't have the same thing that he had. He had hairs in his chest. He started showing me. He said, should I shave? Should I shave? And then I noticed something that he did not notice. He said, I'm having sore throat. I said, what's happening? My voice. There's something with my voice. His voice changed. With a voice change, and then he realizes that it's going to become a man. That's why he said to me, I think I'm growing up.
Did that conversation lead from there, like about how sex works?
No, we haven't had a full conversation about sex yet. But there were instances where I told him about being careful about holding girls' hands, because I noticed that he wanted to have a girlfriend. He started to have interest in certain type of girls. And I saw him watching Netflix, where it's always, you can't control what's on Netflix, right?
Right.
And I noticed that he was very relaxed about it. But that's my eldest son. My second son, third son, and my young girl, that's a totally different world together, you see. But that helped me to, I guess, prepare myself better how to deal with the other teenagers. And thankfully, because Faris, my eldest son, is very calm about things, and I was able to talk to him more about relationships, about breakups, about sex, I guess, and about how careful you are about things, especially when you watch things on TV, you read things on the net, you get things on WhatsApp. Being in international school is not the easiest thing. You may try to control certain things with your kids, right? But other kids are not the same.
Right.
And other kids are teaching your son more things that you're supposed to teach, right?
Right.
And one day he came back and asking me about... So he came back from school and he said, Dida, I saw two girls kissing. I said, okay, how do you feel about that? Well, they're not supposed to kiss in school. My concern was, how come it's okay looking at two girls kissing? I was expecting him to say, it's wrong for the two girls to kiss, you see? Instead, the scenario was, I saw two girls kissing. They're not supposed to kiss in school. Instead of they're not supposed to kiss. You get me, right?
Right.
So I said, okay, how do you feel about that? Oh, It's just wrong. Wrong? Yeah, in school.
Because at school.
Okay. What about two girls kissing? Oh, it's fine. I saw it on Netflix so many times. So are you okay with it? He said to me, it's fine. You can't control people.
Right.
So I do not want to cross the line and talk about religion yet, you see.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
Next
So a week after, and I start to talk about religion to him, what's possible, what's not possible, what's right, what's not right. But the thing about social media and all these free online movies, right? It allows parents to be a little more open with the kids, provided you allow the kids to watch. I know my friends who don't allow the kids to watch anything on TV,
Yes.
right?
I know
Only
that.
a certain type of programs. But for me, because I guess I was brought up differently, I want the kids to explore and to watch everything within my control, which I can explain to them later on, right?
Right.
So that really helped me. So the kids are very open to things. They're not judgmental.
I feel like they're not judgmental because you're not judgmental.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you're
I
very
suppose.
open with them. I'm seeing it as like you didn't really. I mean, culturally, like being a Muslim, some might block their kids from
Correct,
seeing
correct.
anything and everything.
Yes. How much can you do these
Yeah.
days, right? And I'm happy with my children because they're able to talk to a janitor and make jokes with them, hug them, and they can talk to an ustaz or ustazah and be open about things, and they can talk to anybody on the street without being judgmental.
Right.
And they don't care who you are, as long as you're nice to them, they'll be nice back. And I think as a parent, I'm very proud of my kids. And I think
You
both
should be. Yeah.
yeah, both Azrin and I guess we were brought up differently. Azrin was brought up in London. I was brought up in Kampong. But we found a way to agree, and sometimes to agree to disagree, how to bring up the kids.
And so, what's your take on your kids having what girlfriends?
One by one spoke to me in separate rooms. The eldest one had an interest in this girl, and I asked him, why do you like this girl? Because of her nose. She has a beautiful nose. Just the nose? So the personality? No, the nose, Ida. Okay, fine. And then the second boy, the footballer, I said, tell me, this girl that you like. Oh, she's not Muslim. I said, it's fine. And not a problem for me. She's not Malaysian. Okay. But she looks Chinese. You know you like Chinese girls, right? He pointed back at me, you know. I said, yeah, I do. But what does that go to do with me? Well, she looks Chinese. You might approve of her. Why are you telling me to approve, you know? He has a different mind game of
Right, right.
And then the third one has an interest, the same girl that the second brother have.
It's like a reality show for you.
Yeah, tell me about it, you know. This happens in the past 6 months, you know. So this is the best topic for me right now. So having to manage 3 different boys, 3 teenagers with 3 different girls that they want to get involved with, and having their own conflict,
Okay.
it's not easy.
Right.
Especially when you talk to them about sex. I have to tell the second boy who's a footballer, which is a bit more berani, or I guess a bit more advanced. I had to tell him first, do not kiss the girl. And I said, why me? Why not abang or adik? You know, why do you pinpoint to me that I would kiss the girl? Because I know you would.
But do you think like by giving him you can only do this, you can only do that, he wants it more?
Of course. I mean, I was like that. I was
Right.
12 and I had my first girlfriend. I changed girlfriend every few months. So yeah, so I've got to be honest with them. I said, I'm giving you certain guidelines, what you can and cannot do. As a father, you've got to respect the girl, you know. I need you to understand you've got to be a gentleman. And then the kids were asking, all 3, you know. But what if the girls start first? What do I say to that? But, you know, you've got to be a parent first, right?
Right.
So, I mean, of course, there are people saying that with kids, teenagers especially, you've got to be your best friend.
Right.
But I kind of disagree. You've got to be a parent first and then a best friend. Right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you manage being their friend. Because they do say that I do have that mindset where as the kids grow up, I feel like the need to be their friend.
Yeah.
More than anything, because that's what they're looking for, right? But yeah, that's a good one, because to be there, you got to be their parent first before you be their friend. So going back to your kids, the boys' girlfriends, were they girlfriends that you told me?
Yeah.
That they had a breakup all at the same time.
Yes.
How did you deal with
Oh my
that
God.
one?
It was hell in the house, really, because I can see my eldest son crying. My second son was also devastated. He can't eat. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to play. Doesn't want to play his game. And my youngest boy was also crying, and but all three wrote songs.
Wrote songs. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I told them, when you have a very bad breakup, you will come up with the most beautiful song, and they did.
This is actually very true.
Yeah. But managing the crisis was not an easy thing.
Now you were quite close to them. So
Yeah.
do they ever talk to you, about the sex topic? Like, I want to, have sex with her or whatnot.
They did insinuate certain things, which I understood quite instantly. For instance, one of the boys, I won't say which one, said to me that he felt good when the girlfriend hugged him. So I asked him, how did you feel? The warmth of a girl's body felt so good. Is it wrong to feel this way? I said, no, it's not wrong at all. But where did you hug her? He said, oh, it was in her room when the parents were there. Were there anyone else in the room? No, just us. I said, no, that's wrong. That's where religion have to come into discussion.
Okay.
So that's when I told him, in Islam, when there's two of you, there's a third person, which is the devil. So the devil will ask you to do silly things. And when you are in heat, just like cats, I've got 3 cats at home. What happened to the cats when they're in heat? Yeah, they make all this meowing sound, and they hump each other non-stop. That happens for human being too. I will discuss things when I need to, when the situation happens. I think for me as a father, it's easier than preparing them for what they don't know yet. Because being teenage boys, they're very curious and they're very inquisitive.
Right.
They want to know every little things. So I do not want to park something in their head. I worry that it will bloom into something else. For instance, if I tell them, do not touch the girl's breast. Of course they want to do it, right?
Right.
So when it happens, and then I discuss. So like my
So
one boy.
you kind of steer away from the do not do this, do not do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel that, because I was teenager once, all of us were. Whatever our parents told us not to do, we
wanna
always
do
want
it.
to try
Yeah.
it. So there must be a reason why the parents said don't do it, right? So I took a different approach, I guess.
Yeah, and I've noticed with you when that did come about, you don't have like a crazy reaction. You don't like, oh no,
No, usually I'm very calm at home. Yeah, I'm very calm.
So I guess that's easier for them to be more open with you about things.
Yeah, I told them they've got to be open with me, so that we can discuss things. I said, treat me as a father, but you can discuss as a friend. So they understood that.
Right.
So they can discuss about anything under the sun. Like I'm your best friend, but do not forget to respect me as your father.
And with all that, how do you, I don't know if it's just too far out for you, but how do you feel how are you going to approach this with your little princess?
Oh, yeah, that's another story altogether, I guess. You see, I don't have practice for that. With my 3 boys, I've got my practice enough in my first and second, so I know what to do with my third boy. But with my princess, everything is very, very new. So every now and then I do ask for for Azrin to help, to the mom to help. So what happens is with the little girl, she watches things on YouTube. Sometimes things come out, no matter how much you try to control it. She watches things on Netflix in particular. So she does ask me questions like, what are you doing, Lida? Why are they dancing with each other in bed? But she's good at using words that's not sensitive, Why are they dancing in bed, Lida? I asked her, why do you use the word dance? Yeah, we were dancing in bed without clothes. Okay, well, they're making babies. Oh, is that how they're making babies? So was that how you and Mama got me? I said, yes, the same thing. So we have started, you see, because I think girls these days, they are more advanced than the boys.
Right, most definitely.
Yeah, and at a tender age of 8, it's almost like girls are already 11 or 12. That's how they think. They're more inquisitive, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer also that when the kids are younger, we don't use, it's different with every family, but I started using the proper terms for everything: sex, vagina, penis. Whereas some other parents, they disguise those words.
Yeah, I'm the other parents.
Yeah. Oh, you're the other parents.
Yes,
Okay.
especially with the younger ones.
Okay.
With the boys, I talked about things as it is, but with Ellie, I use different terms. Like the vagina, I use the word flower.
Right. Is it like, why do you feel that you need to,
I guess
for like, yeah, is it a
well,
personal thing, or?
no, it's not just a personal thing. I had this thought in my head whether I use the actual word or not, but I think because of her surrounding, her friends, none of her friends use those words actually, vagina or
It may seem vulgar, maybe.
yeah.
she's already
It
using
seems that her friends use symbols for their private parts. So I wanted to do the same until she's confident or comfortable enough to use the actual word. But when she goes around, she knows the actual word, but she doesn't use them at home.
Okay. The boys though, how do they ever talk about it with her?
No, they don't.
They don't?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they've in our household, what happens is I think because of my parents, they're very traditional. So they respect that their grandparents are like that. So they have a certain way that they were brought up. They respect the younger sibling, as in Ellie, being the only female sibling. So they treat her like she's a princess. So use the usage of words, the choice of words especially, and when they want to explain certain things to her, the boys are very, very gentle. Sometimes even more gentle than I am.
I was gonna say, like, you boys seem very. I mean, how did you manage to raise them with such respect? Like they seem like they respect the girls, and yeah.
I give it to the mom, I guess, because growing up, part of the family is they have a good time growing up with the mom, and a good time growing up with the father, and a good time growing up with the father and mother together. So they watch us. I think kids are sponge, they absorb every single thing that they see. So I guess Azri and I were very, very careful exposing them to what is right, what is wrong within the household.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's very interesting. We have a quite a different approach, I would say, when it comes to talking about sex. I just said it as it is because when I was a single mom, I felt like I didn't have time to beat around the bushes.
Yeah.
I had to just say it as it was. They were going into an age, a very sensitive age, which is like 12, 13, 14, that things, topics were going to show up. In Malaysia, there's no sex education. So I felt that I needed to give them this sex education. As it is, like I said, I use the proper terms.
Yeah.
But what advice would you, let's say, that you gave your boys that helped them through their, I don't know, relationships?
I told them this: never look at someone with negativity. Whenever you don't like someone, there's always something good in them. If you start hating someone, the mistake is yours. No matter how bad the person is, find some good in them. So that helps them to go through everything in life. And I'm very proud of my boys and girl to see that they mix around with everybody and anybody.
Great.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was a very wonderful conversation that you gave me a lot of insights too, as well, especially with, 3 boys that you have, which is honestly mad, but all due respect. Thank you very much. I will, it's a hard knock life, but someone's got to do it. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you again.